Hey, all right, all right. That was either Dilbert Clinton or Papa John. I'm not sure which. If Susan was here, which she's not, by the way. My wife has abandoned me on my own show. Poor me. Anyway, she'll be back, I'm sure. But she's probably out, teaching and doing what she does best and figuring out what Santa Claus is going to bring me for Christmas. I know.
Plus, with her in here, there's too much cuteness between you two. Seriously,
yeah.
you just can't.
I said that to her. I said, you're starting to take over my show, lady. You know what I mean? So anyway, I love you, Susan. Now, teaching. So you don't think you're a teacher, huh? So you think only teaching happens by someone else. Have you ever asked your kids if they watch you do anything? Have you ever asked your kids what they saw? That'll teach you something. If you're over 10 years old and you've discovered, let me see, hair gel, how about that? Or you've discovered girls, or you discovered that, there's something out there that has me look at myself and wonder if the other people out there like the way I look. If you're in that kind of space, then you're old enough to teach, all right? You got something to contribute to the world, right? Your experience, your intuition, what you see. Have you ever noticed how happens all the time in the legal world? People say they see stuff, and 4 or 5 people look at the exact same incident, and you get 4 or 5 different visions of what happened. And some of it's valid, and some of it's not. Okay?
Clay, I think we really do want people to stay tuned here. So I got to ask the 2 questions.
Yeah.
I have to ask, how do you teach someone who thinks that they know it all, and how do you teach someone without coming off like you know it all?
Okay, so number one, how you teach somebody something that thinks they have the answer is you ask them, what's the first thing that happens when you think you know it all? And they'll think for a minute, and they'll go, well, everything. And I say, great. If you know everything, then learning must stop, right? So every time you think you know everything and have all the answers, that's as far as you're going. So who loses? The experience, the people, or you and what you believe? And they'll always get it. They'll always go, oh, I see. So my mind has to be more open than it is. I said, yeah, if you're going to find out what you don't know. Yeah. And as far as that goes, where do epiphanies come from? Epiphanies are surprises in knowledge. See, because there's what you know, then there's what you know you don't know, and then there's what you don't know you don't know. Wow. What'd he say? Who's that? Cars are pulling over to the curb now.
Yeah, they are. They are.
So it's like the only way you can have fun in life and, quite frankly, have your normal day spark you and get excited is to give up knowing. And the basics parts of knowing is, you want to make sure that you never get your mom mad at you. You won't need to know that. And if you hear your toes wrapped around the edge of the cliff, don't jump off. You can't fly. That's a real rush, by the way, when you figure that out. And don't eat poison, those kind of things. If you step out in front of a truck, you're going to die. So you need to know that. But other than that, you want to be able to teach, you want to be able to grow, and you want to be able to learn. All right? So I'm going to do that the other way now. Here's the initials. Everybody write this down now. LGT. Learn, grow, teach. LGT. Learn, grow, teach. LGT. Learn, grow, teach. Yeah! All right? We should have a pom-pom team doing that. LGT. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, sorry. I'm having too much fun. So think about it now. If all of us were to teach something to another every single day, wow, what would happen to the family? What would happen to the world? What would happen to people? What would happen to the city? What would happen to great kids? What if teachers, the wonderful people in our systems, our school system, weren't just overpowered babysitters? What if we really acknowledged them for the difference they make in the kids we have? Think about that. What if we decided to teach someone something sometime, any time of the day, all the time, every day? What if we decided to learn what in the heck we were doing, how to do it right, how not to do it again, and then taught it as soon as we can? For if you teach what you find out and want to keep, if you teach it, you'll remember it. Okay? If you just assume it, it will disappear. All right? So teaching, it's a phenomenal tool for being related on the planet.
Clay, I want to actually, I know we're getting into the topic here, but actually we have both emails and actually some little chat questions coming in right here. And,
all right, you mean we're on the streaming?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So actually, let me take a quick look here, and we'll go ahead and head right into it.
This is exciting. We started this technology 6 or 8 weeks ago, and it's really starting to boom. You guys are really, we're having a blast. So what's it say? What are they asking?
It says, I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old girl. A boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Who I want to teach some household chores like dishes, sweeping, cleaning up after dinner, etc. And it looks like this person wants to make it really fun.
Yeah.
How do they go about making that happen?
Ask for help. Kids love to participate, especially if it's mom or dad. What you do is you sit down and get at their eye level. You don't stand up over them. You sit down and get at their eye level and say, I've got to clean this kitchen floor. And the way we clean a kitchen floor is we get a broom and a dustpan and a wet mop and so on. Now, would you guys like to help me? Or how about this? Have you ever thought about riding on the mop? Whoa. What do you think about that? And you go for a mop ride, and then you get moving into using the mop riding to clean the floor. So it's all about creative thinking. It's all about being a child again, having fun, getting a job done, and eliminating the work part. Okay, got it? All right? Or better yet, how about if you ask the kids, gee, how could we have fun cleaning the house? And they'd look at you like, what for? What do you need to clean it for? So you'd have to kind of keep them on track and say, hey, what would it be like if we moved this over here, we cleaned that up, we picked up that pillow, we dusted that over there? I bet you could do that. What do you think? And they'd love to show you. Watch. So it's all about you being first consistent, persistent, and quite frankly, letting your kids contribute back to you. That's how you do that. So how did I do? Answer up on that live stream and see if I gave you the answer that you can use.
Excellent. Very cool. Very cool.
One thing I'm noticing now, especially I'm just learning now about live streaming, is you get an email in, you answer, but a lot of times people don't say thank you, don't say I got it, don't say whatever. So it's kind of like an open-ending incomplete completion. You know what I mean? So we need to figure out how to get that handled.
Cool. I actually see something on there that says thank you. Those are some great ideas.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you very much.
Instant, just
well,
like
we
that.
got that problem solved, didn't we? All right. So teaching what you know is really a culmination of, let me see, you're having asked for help. You're stepping through the fear, like the fear of being found out you don't know, or quite frankly, the fear of I really don't know, and if I do it this way, what's going to happen? I can remember the first time when I was a youngster, and my mom had a vacuum cleaner, and I had to take the vacuum cleaner off. It was a Hoover vacuum cleaner. I had to take the vacuum cleaner off the motor and go shake it out. And I took the vacuum cleaner bag off the motor, undid the spring at the other end, went out and shook it out, came back in. I'll be darned if I can figure out how to get that darn bag back on that vacuum cleaner. And I thought, when my mom comes home, I'm going to be dead because I have broken the vacuum cleaner. Life is over, all right? So now that, teaching is a culmination of all the experience you have as you dance this dance we call life. Think about that now. So the examples of life is how you raise your children, how you get your children to help you clean the house, and how do you make life and the work in life a game? How do you learn how to ride a bicycle? Remember that? Building a snowman, have you ever done that? What was it like to build your first snowman? I'll never forget the time I had to get 3 sets of skis out of the trunk of my dad's Ford. All right? I learned how to ski okay, but getting those skis out of that trunk was difficult. Those things, I don't know how you got them in there. All right? How about the first time you used a computer? All right? You had to be taught how to use it. You had to be, able to understand what was being taught to you.
You had to be willing.
You had to be willing, yeah. I can remember a time when I was hoping I could die before I learned how to type. Didn't make it. All right? Oh, my gosh. Okay, so now I'm just being taught. I'm having too much fun. We've got a lot of streaming coming in. We got emails all over the place. Wow, it's really cool. But I got to take another break. So you're listening to Clay Nelson, the Clay Nelson Live Balance Hour on KZSB AM 1290, where we're having more fun than we should have. So get on back here. I'll teach you how to join us.